What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? I thought I'd do a video response to this algae and its relationship and how it gets created. It's called, of course they say it's mysterious red-dyed algae and the blue-green algae, and it's really not that hard when you look into it. But the human body itself is a fuel cell. This is almost proven science nowadays, but we'll start out right quick by looking at the fact that high electricity, it gets to our planet to begin with. And if you take a look here, we'll take a look at one of these little solar panels I got here. And I set this little meter up, and you can see that there's a light on in the room, and it's measuring around about almost 2.2 volts. Let's see how you get that a little bit better. Almost 0.2 volts DC. And if I turn out this light, not that too long, turn out this light, then you'll see that the voltage on there goes almost to zero. Well, it goes to zero, bouncing a little bit. And if I take a lighter, this lighter here, you'll see that it picks the voltage up better than the lamps did. Because all light, not just sunlight, any type, this light bulb in the room, and even just an open flame carries a current of electricity. This is just a piece of glass with different types of dissimilar metals on both sides. This does not create energy. It simply draws it in. It converts electric photons into electric current, which is what it was to begin with. If you take the same electric current and put it into a car battery, that's the same. It's the same solar energy that's what they use for to charge automotive batteries or deep cycle, marine, RV, whatever. And if you apply this current to what is known as a fuel cell, where you put metal plates in water and apply electric current to it, then you'll get gas. Hydrogen and oxygen will split out of the water and create, highly flammable gas. But this also process shows how iron will turn red at the same way that iron in the blood cell turns red and creates, blood in the human body, because the human body itself is a fuel cell. Same thing. And there are animals on this planet that have blue blood, and if you put copper inside the water, turn electricity on, then you'll see why that blood's blue in those animals. And the two relatively most abundant sources on this planet is iron and copper, and they also are the most significant in terms of influenced by electricity. So in other words, iron, of course, we all know is highly magnetic. Magnets will stick to it, but electricity also flows through it. But copper, its conductivity is second only to silver. In fact, copper is more conductive than gold. It's not more corrosive. It's actually, gold's the least corrosive material on Earth, not the most conductive. Silver, number one, copper, number two. At any rate, we'll just do this right quick here in real time, then we'll stick these in. And all this in here is this is copper plate, 2 copper plates, y'all. I try and make this as simple as I can, because anybody can go down to the hardware store and get every bit of this here and try it yourself. And you'll see it. This is just mild steel, iron steel plates. Again, I'm going to try to do it as simple as I can, because I want to make sure, anybody wants to try it, they can. No big deal. Put that up, you'll see them start bubbling almost immediately. Turn the light back on. That helps, huh? Over here to it. So this only going to take just a few seconds here, a few minutes, maybe a minute or so at the most. You'll see that the red, this will turn just as blood red as it can be. And you got to remember that this is just tap water right out of a well, right out of my well from my house. Anybody can try this. And it's got iron, copper, all these minerals is in the water already. So when sunlight hits that water, it's gonna make the same. Sunlight is electricity. Any type of light's electricity. Just got through showing you that. Now, what I think we need to watch while this is happening, this is the fact that what effect that salt or sodium has on this, and we need to watch our diet to make sure we don't get too much salt in us right now, because it really is. It's incredible what salt will do. We'll let this turn blue over here that quick so you can see it. In fact, you can see some blue in it already. There. It'll turn just as bright blue as it can be. Just as perfect same color as a horseshoe crab's blood. And you can look this up and I'll show you the links. That the horseshoe crab blood is the reason that it is blue is because it's copper based. You look up red blood cells, and the reason they're red is because they're iron based. And, it's just because they put electricity that shows up. Electricity and water. Human body is 98% water. With electricity in it, it's going to have the same chemistry, no matter where you go. You see this is turning good and blue now. Both sides of it. I apologize for the noise over there. Air conditioner's running. Too damn hot out here. It can't be out here long. I got it running on the solar generator anyway, so it'll take as long. At any rate, there it is. I mean, this is electrolysis. I'll show you some clips here and some other things. Show you how it's all, we are part of this energy. It's always constantly making contact. It's a positive atmosphere and a negative earth ground. And we are negative entities. Every one of us seeking positive energy, as everything else in the electric universe does. The electron always flows against current. Always. Particle always goes against. It always seeks its source of energy. That's what we do. That's why a flower points towards the sun all day, seeking its source. It's a constant flow of energy going in and out both ways, alternating current. What we live in. Then it slowly goes back and meanders back and forth directly through the weather daily. It's been this way my whole existence. Alright, now what we're going to do is put some salt in here. We're going to see what effect that has on this. See, you put regular iodized salt. You can use sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, whatever you want to use. I mean, you got to make the water more solidic, which is the same process in the human body. The more salt intake, you put more energy you're going to pull into your person. There's some salt. There ain't much there. You see what? This thing will immediately start making way more current. See a massive increase in bubbles, massive increase in everything, and also the negative, that one's hot, that one's not. It's that simple. It is always the case. So make sure you watch your sodium intake too. You don't want to get overcharged, and it's with anything. Electricity ain't no different. You can drink enough water to kill you. You gotta have it to survive, but it's a balance. It's a balance of everything. It's always about balance. There's smoke in there. Let's unplug that. Ooh, the wire's hot. Ouch. Okay, now we'll take a look at the horseshoe crab, and you'll see, that's one of the animals we have that has blue blood, and you can look that up and see that the blood of the horseshoe crab. The reason it is because of the copper present in the hemocyan, which is, not red blood has hemoglobin, which is why, contains iron, which creates red blood with electrolysis, and hemocyan is copper-based. You can see that here, which creates blue blood. And we can look at actual blood cell here and see that, the center of the blood cell is iron, the iron atom, and this is produced in bone marrow, or the center of the, the electric entity of the human body. This is being produced. Iron is actually being produced in bone marrow, just as iron is produced inside the core of an electric plasma. Naturally occurring plasmas or man-made plasmas all carry these elements from the core out, as do everything else. It's some quantity or less. It all depends on the amount of energy. The only thing that makes us different from Earth or the sun is actually the amount of energy that we resist. And so there you go. That's pretty much what we got there. This is why, the red tide algae and blue-green algae is taking over these oceans, is because of electrolysis, an increase in electricity from the sun. So, peace and love. Big heads up.
Although chlorine and sodium can be deadly independent of one another, together they form the benign substance that is ultimately a driving force of life. We all need salt to survive. The adult human body contains over half a pound of it, enough to fill 3 large shakers.
Our bodies are basically big electrical machines, and the salt is the electrolyte that keeps everything in balance, keeps the electric charges going in and out of the cells. It aids in the functioning of our nerves, the brain, and almost every other system in the body.
Because salt is crucial to our very existence, nature hardwired us to crave it.
Salt is one of the basic tastes, and so humans have a preference for salt. It is an innate desire to consume salt. It also makes foods taste better. It's not just a salty taste, it's that it masks bitter taste. It enhances sweet taste, which makes the food more palatable.
If you take, let's say, a human being and put him in one of these big, very homogeneous magnetic field magnets, then there's a tendency of that magnetic field to line up the magnetic moments of the nuclei, the spin of the nuclei in the hydrogen in your body, which is in your muscle and in your blood. Now put on a radio frequency pulse, say 60 megahertz or something like that. Then you can make this magnetization of your hydrogen nuclei. You can turn it 90 degrees away from the direction of the magnetic field. Your magnetic moment will precess. If you have coils around, pickup coils, it will induce a signal. If I want to see where the signal is coming from in your body, I put on another magnetic field on top of the very homogeneous one that's called a magnetic field gradient. By that I mean it makes the field stronger in one place and weaker in another place. What you do in order to actually get the image that you want, the fine resolution that you need, is you put on magnetic field gradients of different strengths, a series of pulses. That's why if you get an MRI machine, you hear boom, boom, boom. It's all these pulses that we're putting on with different strengths of magnetic field, perhaps even different directions, because we want to get a three-dimensional picture of you. You record all of these data, and when you finish, you can now use what's called Fourier transform. It's a mathematical technique. You can work back to how strong the signal was in each of these voxels. And so this is how the image is developed.